Right, so this is the first of my 3 tarp setup videos. So basically, I'm about halfway through setting up, and I will talk you through, get you a better view of what we're doing, of what I've done so far, and then basically I'll just finish it off, explain one of the knots that we're going to do. It speeds the whole process up a little bit. So on each end we have our timber hitch. So I'll move that in there so we can see, and we can see it from the other side. There we go. That timber hitch is exactly the same as normal one. It's a very long piece of cord, so I've just made a loop and wrapped the loop round. It works exactly the same as a normal timber hitch. It's just that I've got quite a lot of cord left over, so I've looped it and hanked it over. Because what it is, I have 10 meters of cord on a 4 meter tarp. The idea being that I've got 3 meters of overrun at either end for tying off. Because sometimes I can be encountering trees that are like that are about 18 inches across. Sometimes it can be a skinny little tree like that. So it gives me the most versatility. Now, what I've done on each end, and we'll just walk ourselves down here, is we've got our prussok knot with a reef knot. So the prussok knot is really cool because it allows us to adjust up and down, finding the best point of tension for the tarp. Reef knot keeps it on, it's dead easy to undo. Prussok knot, I can virtually do on one-handed. I'm hoping it works for me here. So what we'll do is, in fact, no, we won't perch up in the tree. So we lay our loop on our rope, on our cord. We've got a loop and 2 tails. We feed our 2 tails through. Yeah, spread it a little bit, loop our 2 tails round again and feed them through. Now what I usually find is you can get away with 2 loops, so, and bring it round so it's between, so 2 loops, 2 on either side. But what I usually find is, for extra security, I like to go with 3. Purely because with 3 it makes it a lot less mobile. And then we pull it, so we're just pulling it. I'm just bracing it against my arm because there's quite a lot of slack in this ridge line, for the simple reason that I can then move my tarp slightly from side to side. And I'll show you what I mean at the other end. So basically, when I'm pegging in, I can find the best point for my tarp. Now, what I'm doing is, this loop that I've got my ridge line fed through, I'm just going to put my paracord through. There we go, so put the paracord through. Pull that tight. Finish it off with a reef knot. So, I'll bring it around again. So we've got our reef knot, our prussok, and we can just pull our ridge line so it's nice tension. That means that the ridge line in the middle is not doing a great deal. It's there as an additional support, but it's not the main supporting factor, which in a way is great, because if we were to do it with, so I'll just put my peg in and put my other peg in, so we shall go along, put the other peg in. Right, so that's our A-frame tarp set up, and we'll bring it down. Right, it's like a big tube, it's really good. And what I'll do is I'll just put the camera down on the tripod for a second, and then that way, I'm a bit more hands-free, so I can talk about what this tarp's for. So this tarp is what's termed on the course what I would call a kit tarp. As I say, my tarp, this is what I sleep under if I'm out. It's 4 meters long by 3.5 meters. 3 meters wide. It's quite a big tarp, but for what it weighs, the trade-off is quite fair, I think, on my side. So yeah, it's a little bit heavier, but the potential is massive, because I can sleep comfortably 8 people under here. At the moment I'm drying it out as well, because it was out last week and it got a little bit wet, but that's not a problem because it's nylon as well, so it won't mildew up as fast as a cotton tarp will, which is one of the advantages of nylon over cotton. Nylon, the disadvantages are they burn rather than singe, and they're not as easy to sew or patch as cotton, but they don't retain moisture as easily, they tend to shed it quite quickly, and they're a little bit lighter, and they're a lot lighter when they're wet because they shed moisture rather than retain it. But yeah, so this would be good for storing kit. You can store quite a lot of kit under here. It's protected on 2 sides. The 2 ends are open, so you can get to your kit from either end. If you're looking at the wind profile, you'd set it so that the wind is blowing up and over the side, so going up and over rather than through. But yeah, and it's got, as I say, it's got the 2 timber hitches, 2 prussok knots and 2 reef knots. So we've used 3 knots and we've repeated it, and then 4 pegs. It's very, very simple to set up tarp. Works very similar to a range of others. So I'm going to set up a couple of different ones and show you a couple of different types. Like I say, this is quite low to the ground. It doesn't make a great shelter for standing under if it's raining, but it's great for deflecting wind. It's great for sleeping under. It's great for storing lots of small equipment, low equipment, you know, rucksacks, boxes, that type of thing. And yeah, it's really handy. A variation of this I use when I'm hammocking is that I have it raised up higher, and I have guy ropes on each corner, and I pull those out so that I can have it raised up off the ground, give me more height. But the disadvantage is then that the wind blows through underneath it, but I'm up in the actual hammock, it's in the canopy itself. So this bit here is raised up off the ground. My hammock is within this inverted V, which then means that the wind blows underneath me, not onto me. Yeah, so what I'll do is I will get the next tarp setup partially done, and then I will show you how we're getting on with it. Okay, cheers, bye.